it's a little bit difficult for me to follow quite what's going on, so I apologize for that.
No worries. We're
welcome,
good to go.
Welcome to the November meeting of the Washington State Human Rights Commission, and thank you for being here. We have lots to do today. So the first thing I would like to do is to take roll, please.
Yes, Chair Deborah Cook.
Present.
Commissioner James Moore.
Present.
Commissioner Jeff Spey.
Good morning, present.
Executive Director Sharon Ortiz.
Present.
Deputy Director Cheryl Strobert.
Also present.
Assistant Attorney General Sharon James.
Present.
Assistant Attorney General Kristen Lamson.
Present.
And anyone else that's on the line, if you can please identify yourself for the record.
Celine Garcia, Customer Service Specialist.
Okay, and it looks like there's no one else, so we can begin.
All right, thank you very much. So I'm hoping we will hear from Commissioner Gamboa at some point here this morning as well, but we do at least have enough to move forward. So we're going to. So the first item on the, let me just mention before we work through the agenda that later in the agenda we will be having executive session, and I will discuss that when we get closer to it, but I just want to make people aware that we will be having an executive session. We will complete all of the business of the meeting that we can prior to taking that executive session, so that the outcome of the executive session will be the only thing that we would anticipate reporting when we return. So we will try to conduct as much business as we can prior to that. So the meeting minutes for October 28th, 2021, are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? And otherwise, I'll accept a motion to approve them.
Jeff Spey here, so moved.
Seconded.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Sure, it has been moved and seconded that the minutes for October 28th, 2021 be approved as submitted. All in favor, say aye.
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 And opposed? Great. All right. The next item on the agenda is the case closures, and I note once again that no cases have been withdrawn. I'm always pleased because that really does mean that staff are really trying hard to do a good job, and appreciate that so much. Are there any comments from commissioners regarding the cases? And if not, I would accept a motion to accept the case closures as submitted.
I move to accept the case closures. This is Commissioner Moore.
Thank you.
Second, Commissioner Gamboa.
Thank you, and good. Thank you. I'm glad you are here, Commissioner Gamboa. We didn't have you in the roll call, so thank you. Excellent. All right. All in favor of accepting the case closures as submitted? Say aye.
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 And any opposed? Thank you. Okay, great. All right. The next item on the agenda is Executive Director reporting, and you should have all received a really thorough report from Sharon. And Sharon, are there additional items or items from that you'd like to particularly talk about?
I'm muted. No, oops. I think it explains itself. I would encourage you to read it because there's some important information. And, one of the purposes of doing this report is to document everything that happens. And as I look back at how many reports I have done in 13 years, so especially, there's some nice info on RC cases. Lupe, you'll be happy because the case you pulled, the AGs are moving forward. It's in the report, Vargas v. Fruit with reasonable cause based on immigration status. So this should be very interesting because it's our first case. So we'll see how this turns out. So
Okay.
other than I think you can read the report. We've just been so swamped, but I wanted to make sure I at least get that out quarterly. So
Yeah, I appreciated the data. That there was a lot of really good data there about the cases, and particularly the issues around the EEOC and the cases related to the governor's mandate. That's all really interesting and important.
it's been very intense.
Yeah. We've got to get to some resolution of this for sure.
Well, in the report, we have kind of came to a resolution. We will be taking all cases except those against state agencies, and they're inquiries at this point. So Cheryl and I are going to work on setting up a triage system because there will be a lot. So.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And
okay.
It's in the report.
Any questions? Any questions for Sharon on the report? It was a really good report.
This is the other Sharon. I was just wondering if the copy of the director's report is on the website or somewhere.
No, we haven't been putting them on there.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Do we need to be making them available to the public somehow?
This is something that we can discuss offline.
Sure. Okay, great. Yeah, because we have not been. Okay. Any other questions related to the executive director report? All right. I would like to, the next item on the agenda is actually the executive director recruitment, but I would like to move that item down because if we talk about that right before we go into the executive session, I think it will make more sense. And then we aren't hopping back and forth. So I'd like to move that down, which means that we would now go to commissioner reporting. And do we have any reporting from commissioners on activities? Okay, I'm not hearing anything. I know it gets a little tough to start having much of that as we get into the holidays, and I actually, I don't have anything new to report. I reported on my activity last time, but it hasn't moved forward. Okay, the next item on the agenda would be the AG's office update. Any information there?
No, I don't have an update this time.
All right. Okay. Any questions for the AG's office? All right. We're moving right along. So our next item is public comment, and unless any members of the public have joined us since we started the call, I don't believe we have any members of the public on the call. But if we do have any public comment, this would be the time to do that. Okay, so now we're going to jump back up to the executive director recruitment. And Sharon talked about this in her report, but I will review where we are with that as well. We have received 12 applications. 3 of those applicants that we originally received met the qualifications for that had been established by the commissioners and staff working together. One of those applicants withdrew, and part of that, probably relates to the amount of time that this has really been open and gone on. So that left us 2 qualified applicants. DIS encouraged us to consider whether any of the additional applicants could be considered if we were to think about any relevant experience. And staff identified that 3 of the additional applicants, although they did not meet the technical qualifications, did possess relevant experience that might be considered in this process. And so that set of applicants, the 5, the 2 that do qualify and the 3 additional applicants, were forwarded to the commissioners for consideration. So on record, we have already ratified extending the recruitment through November. We did that last time. And basically, so even though we're going to look at applications today, the recruitment is still technically open. So today, what we need to do, whoops, I just lost my place. I'm sorry. I skipped down here where I want to not be. Okay, so basically, we decided to already have decided to, that we would extend the recruitment through November, and that is still active. So what we need today to do, first of all, is to ratify the review of the additional applicants that did not meet the criteria but should be considered for review, and those were sent out to the commissioners. So if the commissioners want to be able to review and discuss those additional applications in executive session, I would need a motion to basically include those additional applications. Let me just describe the rest of this, and then we can kind of do that. So so we want to ratify that we review those additional applicants, and then we will go, if that's true that we're going to do that, we'll go into executive session to review them, and then we will come out and we will vote to recommend to schedule for review either the 2 that we're pretty obligated to because they qualify, or the 2 plus any or all of the additional 3 people. What I am proposing that we will do is that we will schedule interviews for our December meeting, which is December 16th. And for that meeting, we will need more time, so it will not be a quick meeting because we will have, if everyone cooperates, and if we make, depending on our decision, we may be interviewing between 2 and 5 people, and so we would be having those interviews on the 16th if we can, if everyone's schedule permits to do that. If we receive any additional applicants between now and the end of end of November, so in the next week and a half, we would consider those applicants in December in the same way that we're doing today with the 5, and would make a determination regarding their desirability for us to interview them. And we would have to then schedule an additional interview session to interview any additional candidates. But we really don't want to wait for this to close to go ahead and get started because of the problem of losing candidates. So we can go ahead and schedule those. We can still, if the commissioners desire, we can go ahead and do that. Then we can go ahead and review any additional ones. And if we are still needing applicants, we can interview them. If we still don't have, a person identified who we want to offer the position to, we would have to open the position again, probably after the holidays, basically at this point, because on December 16th we'd know based on our interviewing and based on our potential to interview someone else, we would know what our likelihood is. So at that point, we would also make a decision regarding that. So that's kind of the complicated. That's kind of the complicated issues. Are there questions? Okay.
How long do the interviews usually last?
Pardon me?
I have a question.
Yes.
How long do the interviews last? Is that slotted for a certain amount of time? Because we're going to do 5 interviews on December 16th. That could be all day.
It could be. I don't think it would be actually all day, but because you're going to want to probably allow a half hour at least for each interview and a little space between them, et cetera. So, it's going to be a long half day for sure if we chose to interview all 5 and if all 5, in fact, choose to be interviewed. It's often the case that by the time we really get down to this, everybody doesn't, one way or the other. So there may not really be 5, but if there are 5, it is going to take a significant amount of the day. Yes.
Yeah.
If that's the way we do it. Any other additional questions? So the first item that we really need to do is to ratify the executive director review of applicants that did not meet the criteria but should be considered for review. So that's the additional 3 people. So do I have a motion to do that?
This is Jeff Spey. I have a question on that. So we have,
Yes.
We got a handful of resumes and statements, but
Yes.
Are any of those people that we have materials for those who were removed from the process, or is the materials we have everybody that has been deemed qualified?
So it is everyone that is qualified plus the 3 that staff thought qualified potentially.
Okay, so what you're asking...
There's quite a distance.
So what you're asking now is for us to ratify the decision not to include people, but we don't have those materials.
No. What we're asking you to do, normally we would only include the people who are absolutely qualified, which are 2 of them. So that would normally be all you would get. What we have actually done is stretched this to try to get a little bit more opportunity and a little more variety to look at some additional people who had some qualifications. We have applicants who have no qualifications for the job. And so we didn't ask you to review all of those. If that's what you wanted to do, we could do that. But what we didn't do that. Sharon, yes? So that's what we did. So basically it's the 2 that you would definitely be receiving regardless, and it is 3 additional ones. So what we're asking you to do is to ratify whether you want to consider the 3 additional ones or not. So if you don't want to consider the 3 additional ones, that's a possibility, but then we only have 2 people to interview. So we thought that there's the people who you did not review at all, that you did not receive, are people who have no relevant experience. So we tried to expand the field, or offered the option to expand the field.
Okay, thank you for that explanation. That clarifies it.
Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So you would have otherwise only had 2 people by the process. And we're offering the possibility to have 5. Plus any that might come in between now and the end of the month.
Okay. Well,
but it's pretty well stopping. So.
Yeah. Well, in that case, Jeff Spay, I move that we proceed with these 5 people, the 2 that were meeting the technical qualifications and the additional ones that by virtue of education or experience can do so as well.
Okay, great. All right. So, and we'll be what we're basically doing is moving to review them because we haven't actually decided if we're going to interview them. All that we will talk about in executive session where we can talk about them. But whether we even talk about them is what this is about. So thank you. Is there anyone who will second that?
I second it. Lupe?
Thanks. All right. Commissioner Gamboa seconds that. Thank you very much. Okay. So all in favor of considering during executive session the 5 possible candidates, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, great. All right. Then, so when we're in executive session, we will talk about the individuals, and then when we return from executive session, we will go on record to announce the names of the individuals who we actually choose to interview. That is the situation there. Okay. So now I believe that the commission can move into executive session to evaluate the qualifications of the applicants for public employment, the executive director position, pursuant to RCW 42.30.1101G. We anticipate the executive session will last no more than 15 minutes, and we will convene in public session at, what time is it? Let's see, it's about 9:50. It's about 9:55, so we will reconvene at 10:15 in public session. If we find that we need more time, we'll reconvene and let you know that, and then and we'll go back into executive session. But I believe we'll be able to talk through this determination in fairly quick order. So, are there any questions? Commissioners have received the information for connecting to the executive session call. And let's move there right away and try to be there in 2 or 3 minutes, please, just long enough to get connected over there. So this meeting is is moving into executive session, and will reconvene at 10:15. Thank you very much.
I have a question offline. Did I do it offline?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
We will reconvene the commission meeting following the executive session. We were in executive session to evaluate the qualifications of applicants for public employment, specifically the executive director position. We are back from that discussion, and it was a good discussion. No motions were taken, and no formal business was conducted, just discussion. So now, having talked about the 5 individuals, I would entertain a motion regarding interviewing any or all of the 5.
This is Jeff Spay. I'd like to move that we interview 4 of the 5 applicants: David Carlson, Mitzi Bolaños Anderson, Martin Casey, and Rochelle Davis.
All right. Is there a second for that?
Commissioner Moore, second.
Okay, very good. Is there discussion of the motion? So Commissioner Spay's motion moves 4 of the 5 individuals into the status of being invited for an interview. Hearing no discussion, all in favor of the motion regarding these 4 individuals and interviews, say aye.
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 Thank you. And any opposed? All right. So we will be inviting these 4 individuals for an interview. We are going to make every effort to schedule these interviews on December 16th at our regular meeting. We will conduct our regular meeting business, and then we will, at that time, and then we will go into executive session to conduct the interviews. To create the questions for the interviews, staff can work with DIS to identify questions of a nature that should generally be asked to people at this level of position, and then can suggest some additional specific questions. The draft questions will be sent out to commissioners, and if commissioners have any edits or concerns or things related to those questions, they can send those back to staff. If necessary, staff will recirculate the questions with any proposed change, and so when we come to that meeting, we should have a set of questions and some scoring criteria so that we'll be able to proceed in a fair and equitable fashion with the interview. I'm excited that we're there and going to do this, and I hope sincerely that these people are all able to come and interview with us. And so we will do this round of interviews via the Skype. And then if we, for a second interview or whatever, we may want to do something different, but we'll figure that out after we have worked through this process and know whether we have a candidate. We will also at that time decide if we are going to reopen the position, and we will also, as I previously said, at that time determine if any additional applicants have been presented that we might wish to interview. And if so, then we will have to schedule another round of interviews. So it's probably not that likely, but it's certainly possible. So there we go. Is there any question or discussion of any of that? All right. I believe we have no additional business. However, if there is some, this would be the time to raise that and let me know. Okay. I don't wait long for these. Yes.
Chair Cook, I will start scheduling the interviews today for the 16th
yes.
to make sure they're available.
Yes. Yeah, and let us know ASAP if there's going to be any problem around that. I'm hoping this is enough notice and everything for everybody to be able to squeeze an hour out of their schedule. Won't be hour-long interviews, but a while out of their schedule to be on Skype. It shouldn't be that hard. So I'm hoping. Yeah, so let us know. All right, thank you so very much.
Can I add one more
Yep.
thing, because you will have to schedule time? I would maybe allow at least 45 minutes, because in our
Yes.
experience, sometimes candidates have had a hard time getting into the Skype, and we've had to wait a while and other ways. And we might want to.
I actually want to allow an hour per interview, because I don't want them running on top of each other, or as you said, if there's any problem with Skype or any problem with something else, I actually think they should be scheduled 1 per hour.
Okay. And I would also suggest we use our cameras during the interviews.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I think we have to all do that. Mm-hmm. Agreed.
That's all I have. Okay.
No, those are good points. Excellent. All right. Anything else? All right, then the meeting is adjourned, and our next meeting will be on December 16th, and please plan that it will be a long half day. So not probably a full day, but a long half day.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.